to the show, James.
Thank you very much. I feel very welcome.
Oh, like I said before, Come From Away still remains my #1 favorite Broadway show. So my first question, what originally got you into performing?
Good question. You know what it was? I was a rather shy kid, and I had 4 brothers and sisters, and I kind of needed to find a way to get the attention I was craving. So I started to perform on my own, little skits and whatnot, and forced my family to watch them. And I started writing plays and casting the neighborhood kids in them, and using it to raise money for Ronald McDonald House and things like that. So yeah, I think it was just a desire to get some attention, but to not be myself, which I think a lot of actors are drawn to that. Yeah. It's fun to escape and be somebody else.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I got into performing because, like, my Bobby and Zadie, every time they saw me, I was like, hey, sing. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Who do you look up to in show business?
Wow. I've worked with a lot of really amazing actors and directors, so it's hard to nail it down to one, but I would say, oh gosh, that's a tough question. Who don't I look up to? I did my training at the Yale School of Drama, and we had some pretty amazing guest instructors, including like Meryl Streep, Angela Bassett. But my favorite, I think, would have to be, because I've always been a fan of his, and he started in the theater, and I'm so thankful I got to meet him, was Paul Newman.
Oh, okay.
Who is long since deceased, but he just, to me, was such a brilliant actor. And when he came to be a guest instructor, I was just over the moon. His talent, but his passion, and his giving back to the community, with his businesses, all of his businesses that he started. I thought, this is somebody who knows what to do with fame and fortune. Not that the others don't. I mean, Meryl Streep is incredible. I'm never not amazed by what she does. But even actors you probably haven't heard of, who've had incredible careers, like David Strathairn, people, character actors who've sort of disappear into their roles, so you're probably not even sure who they are from time to time when you see them. But
yeah, that's how you know it's good. That's how you know it's
good. Paul Newman, he's always been one of my favorites. And Jimmy Stewart. Growing up, I always watched old movies with my mom. Well, some of them not old, some were contemporary, but movie musicals, I would escape into those, the Gene Kelly musicals. And so I think that's part of why I'm doing this as well.
That's awesome. Yeah, my mom's been getting me into 80s movies. And
80s movies, yeah.
There's a bunch.
Like what? There's some really bad ones, but
there was Grease, of course.
Yeah.
And we just watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High, I think.
Oh yeah.
The stoner character made me laugh.
Yeah, I know. That was one of his first movies, I think.
Yeah, when they came out and there's just smoke coming out of the van. That's so funny.
Yeah, the 80s. All those John Hughes films, and Pretty in Pink and all those.
He was a cutie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was a cutie. I didn't realize until I saw it, and I was like, damn.
Yeah. And Grease, I remember seeing Grease several times in the theater, because I had a crush. Even though I was gay, I had a crush on Olivia Newton-John when I was growing up. And I so fantasized about her and wanted to go to Australia just to experience what she lived with. And Star Wars changed my life. The original Star Wars changed my life. I went to see that. I would walk to the movie theater. I was 14, I think. I must have seen that 15 times in the movie theater, because of it was just so, I hadn't seen anything like it, right? It was so imaginative and so creative and out of this world, obviously. And I thought, yeah, this is what I want to do. Imagine
seeing that in IMAX.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
I used to hate watching the movie in the IMAX theaters just because of the way that the seats were set up and they were so
Yeah.
steep. And I'm
Yeah.
small, so I'm like if I fall, like I'm gonna get injured. What are some of your favorite backstage memories?
And some are from this current show, from Come From Away, which I so look forward to being back to, because before every show we meet as a group, um, because it is such an ensemble piece. So we meet as a group and we just stand in a circle and we join hands, and somebody says something silly, and we do on the count of three, we do sort of our own kind of hurrah or huzzah, whatever you want to call it. I love that camaraderie, that bonding that happens in theater.
Yeah, I mean,
other backstage. Yeah, I've got a lot of backstage memories too. I'm so old. I'm coming up on my 40th year as a professional actor. So
wow, mazel tov.
Yeah. I'm thrilled that I'm still doing it.
That's awesome. You're good at what you do. I can tell you were one of my favorite from Come From Away. You were one of the ones that really stood out.
Oh, that's so nice. I miss those people. I mean, we've been in touch. I've seen some of them through doing press with them, our interviews, but as a group, we've not been together, obviously, for more than a year. And it's going to be overwhelmingly emotional when we do reconnect, for us, for the crew, for the band, for the audience. I think it's going to be amazing.
Yes, especially the audience. I'm especially.
Yeah, you'll be there. Yes.
Yes, I will definitely be there. Come From Away is the show I will go to as soon as they open up again.
Yay! I know. I'm so thrilled that Broadway is reopening, and I don't think we'll be far behind that. It's all about making sure we're all vaccinated, and then the Mervishes will have to figure out what the producers will figure out what they'll do with seating. Yeah. But they've been in touch with us many times saying we are reopening. We're going to be the first show to reopen. So hang in there. Yeah.
Okay, good. Good. Yay.
I've been fortunate enough to be doing some film and TV. I just got cast in another film, a TV movie, but I did 3 Christmas movies, which is fun and crazy. And I sort of played a bad guy in one of those, but the guy who's trying to break up the couple. But usually I play the nice, nerdy guy wearing these glasses that I wore in Schitt's Creek.
What was the cast of Schitt's Creek like? I'm just asking because I want to know.
Oh, they were great. They're absolutely great. It was the first episode that Dan Levy directed on his own. So he was kind of like, he was bouncing off the walls because he wrote it, he was directing it, he was obviously in it. But my scenes, as you would recall, were just with the 4 younger leads. And I was so intimidated at first because they're such a tightly oiled machine, right? They know each other very well and they know how to play off each other. But that's okay because I was supposed to be a stranger to them. But man, did they make me feel welcome. And I can't wait for the blooper reel because there were some good ones. My very first take, I was there for 2 days. So, but my very first take was when I come out with the tray of champagne glasses. My very first entrance, and welcoming them. What's that?
You didn't bring me any champagne.
Well, you wouldn't have gotten any of that day. The very first, I come walking out, and this gust of wind comes and takes all 4 of these glasses, knocks over this fake topiary they had. It wasn't my fault, but I was so embarrassed, and I just screamed, "Oh!" I was like, we laughed, but it got all over all of us. So we all had to get dried off. There was shattered glass everywhere. And I said, well, you didn't ask me if I waited tables. I've never waited tables. So I thought I was carrying it correctly. And I was. It wasn't my fault. But yeah, it was embarrassing. But that kind of broke the ice, I guess. When you douse your fellow actors with fake champagne and broken glass, then yeah. So you can only go up from there. Exactly.
And I mean, all in all, they'll remember you.
Yeah. But they were lovely. They were lovely. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to talk to Dan or Annie, but Dan for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like he's very anxious like me. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. He certainly was those few days. He certainly was. But they all, they deserved all the praise and all the awards they got, because it really was a pretty special show.
Absolutely.
Inclusivity and, so many good messages.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. I guess it's kind of like a harder question, but like, well, not really. But when times get tough, what are some of your like go-to things to do to make you feel better?
Definitely, when times are tough, I definitely go to my dog. Animals have always been sort of a saving grace for me. Yeah, I will just being around that unconditional love kind of takes your mind off of everything else, and I feel so nurtured. Harper, oh, she's sleeping. We were out running like crazy. I'll show you her
hard life.
Yeah, she has a very hard life. She has I don't know, 5 or 6 beds to choose from.
Oh yes.
She's in the den right now, sleeping. You Harper. Here she is. Here she is. Hi, Harper. Isn't she cute? Yeah. It's a fan of yours. It's a fan of yours, Harper.
I am a fan. I'm a fan of you.
Isn't she cute?
Yeah. She's so cute. Every time I see her on my feed, I'm like, oh my God, this is a great day.
She's pretty special.
I have a special thing with chocolate labs, because I had this stuffed one when I was younger. His name was Chocolate. I got him from Toys R Us, and he has been with me since I was like 3 or 4.
Oh.
Like I have a picture on like on my first day doing ballet. It's like my first time ever, and I'm holding him in my little outfit. But I used to, so my first word was doggy, but I've never had one, so that's really sad. But
why not?
I need one. My family. I'm looking at getting one, but we talk more about that after.
Yeah.
But with Chocolate, before I fell asleep, I used to put him on my hip. So it was like, to pretend that he came and crawled and slept on me when I was sleeping. And then, like right before I fell asleep. And then in the morning when I wake up, like, you fell asleep on me.
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah.
My partner Randy and I this is our 3rd dog together, but we both grew up with lots of animals. Him, especially, he grew up on a farm, so he was always surrounded by animals. Yeah, in a small Canadian town.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. I know so many people here because I'm in Peterborough, so I know so many people who come from farms, and I'm like, I love horses. They're like, I don't understand why people love horses so much. Like, I have one in my backyard. I'm like, I'm from Toronto. I never see them. It's like magical to me. I love them. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm definitely an animal person too. I had a guinea pig. He lived to be 8 years old. So I got him when I was 12. And unfortunately he passed away in October. At 144 guinea pig years. So he
wow, yeah.
So he was around for a long time, but I said this when he passed away, like, no medication for me has ever fully worked, but a 3.5-pound guinea pig knew exactly what to do.
That's true.
Exactly what to do. I was at the Raptors parade, and there was a shooting that broke out. I don't know if you remember that at all.
Where was this?
The Raptors championship parade in 2019.
Oh God, yeah.
So I was there and I witnessed it.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, so the shooters were so that was one of the traumas. So the shooters were about 3 to 5 feet behind me. Yeah, it was obviously traumatizing. But my guinea pig, the way he looked after me that night, and following the other trauma, he was like, it was so funny. He would like curl up to me, and like if he like his like all the fur, and like he would cuddle in so much, and I would like get kind of uncomfortable, and so I would try and move him so I would get comfortable, and he'd go, I'm like, sorry.
No, he knew what you needed.
He knew exactly what to do. What to do.
Yeah.
Incredible.
They really do.
Yeah.
They do.
How does Harper feel about what you do?
Well, she seems confused by it sometimes when I'm in a room talking to myself, although I do that a lot of times.
Me
But
too.
whenever I get the blue screen thing out for self-tapes and the camera, the tripod, she just kind of like goes into the other room. It's like, oh, that thing again. We sing and dance a lot here, both my partner and I. He's not in the business, but we like to sing and dance and be, act like fools. She kind of stares at us like, what?
Oh.
Yeah. But honestly, she is the best. So
that's awesome. My fish likes to watch me dance, so that's pretty cool. I'll do TikTok dances in like the room where he is, and I'll just see him on the side and be like, oh, yeah, you, buddy.
Yeah, she's made a few cameos in some of my self tapes, but
she'll make a cameo here on Deep Talks.
Yeah.
She's gorgeous. She deserves any part she wants.
She's pretty cool. Yeah.
She's pretty cool. How did the pandemic affect your show life, and how did you cope with that?
My show life, yeah, pretty much ended it quite abruptly. It was Friday the 13th, March 13th.
I remember that day.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. That's when they messaged us. I'll be like, you have to leave school. It's like, yeah. Okay.
And we knew it was coming, but we didn't know what to expect. So we didn't really get to put a period on it, to put a button on it. And there were some people who are not returning. There was one man who was filling in, a guy from New York, because George, who played the mayor, was out. He had surgery. We didn't get to say goodbye to this guy. We did have a little gathering in my dressing room because it was Barb Fulton's birthday. Barb, who plays opposite me in the show, she plays Diane. So we did, about 6 or 7 of us got together that night in my dressing room. And then that was it. It was, we might be back. No, we're not back for the matinee. Maybe for the evening on Saturday. No, we're not back. We're off for a couple weeks. And then it became a couple months. And then it became a year and whatever. So I did go back to the theater. We were allowed to go back in case we needed to get some stuff. And it was literally as if like a bomb hit or everything just froze in place. The props were all left on stage where we put them. My dressing room had glasses sitting, because I usually would wash them the next day. They were like glasses from the party sitting there with dust collecting on. Yeah, it was very surreal. And not knowing, and still not knowing when we're going to return. That was probably the hardest part, because, I mean, actors, performers are used to being unemployed for periods of time, but this just, having the rug pulled out from under us was a little difficult. I think everyone embraced it at first, because we were entering our 3rd year of the show, right? 3 years with each other. So there was like, okay, good, we'll have a little break. We'll freshen up. And then the break has gone on way too long. Way too long.
Just a little bit.
Yeah. So you were in school,
and
they said, get out of here.
My closest friend, I really only had like one really close friend last year, and he was like just like across from my room, and he was actually from Germany, so he was from over there in Europe, and we had the same amount of time. Like, he had 3 days notice to leave the country and go back home.
Wow.
I know. And he was only on exchange for 1 year, so I don't know if I'll again either. So
yeah, it's gonna take a while to, once the dust settles. That's what worries me the most, is to see who hasn't survived. And I don't mean who's passed away. That is hard enough, but also we know who's passed away in our lives. But what is gone, what has been lost, like what people have left, the businesses that they were in, the writers, actors, directors, musicians, store owners, restaurant. It's when the dust settles and we see everything that's gone now, it's going to be it'll be difficult.
For sure. I know. I mean, this is a tough subject, so trigger warning. But I know a lot of that, like I don't even know personally, but just I know so many youth who have taken their lives because of this. And
really?
It's so we were already in a pandemic already that was related to youth suicide, and it just it was ignored, and now because of COVID, it's been exacerbated, and it's hard for me because not only have I been in that like mindset, but I've also like, I'm somebody who's trying to like advocate and who's trying to save those people, and there's like nothing I can do right now. And she's like,
No.
seeing it, and it's heartbreaking every time.
Yes, it is. I know. I've been in that situation too, many years ago, and I have worked to help in the, to help be an outlet as well, and have volunteered. But I realize, I think the whole self-isolation thing, forced isolation. I know a lot of us like to isolate if, we're struggling, but to have nobody to connect to, I can't imagine. I can't imagine people living alone during this. And I do have friends who have lived alone during this.
My 91-year-old Bobby is living alone.
Yeah, I mean,
I worry about her all the time. She knows.
Yeah. So, young people who have nobody else, who aren't dating somebody or living with somebody, or middle-aged people who, some of my friends who live alone. And
yeah, I mean, and in this situation, like the only worst thing of living alone would be living in like a domestic, like abusive situation, and my heart goes out to that as well.
That's awful. Yeah, that's been a concern across the boards. Yeah. No, it's good that you have done what you can do, and that you at least have platforms, and you get the word out there, and on your Instagram and whatnot. So
I'm growing my platform for that exact reason.
Yeah, good.
Exactly.
Good.
Yeah. How do you handle the time constraints and other pressures of performing?
Time constraints? What do you mean by that?
Like, because I know that like with like shows, like especially like on Broadway or in theater, you have shows like where you're doing like a matinee and then an evening show, and you're doing it back to back. It's like,
I actually love doing long runs. I've done many. Like I did Mamma Mia for 2 years, Kinky Boots for a year and a half.
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun.
Fiddler on the Roof I was in for 3 years on tour. And this will be the longest I've done a show now once we get back. But there's something about, because like I said earlier, we're so used to unemployment, or if you're working in film and TV, the hours are ridiculous. But once you get into a long running show, you can set your life, what time you have to eat dinner, and when you can see friends, on what nights you can see friends, and maybe have a drink. The 2 show days, being one of the oldest in the show, I do have to take a nap, a power nap between shows, and try to wake up a little bit. I come home as often as I can. If my partner's not home, I have to come home for the dog, but I embrace it. I know what's screwy is that our weekend is like Sunday night to Tuesday, and so we rarely get to see other people on the weekend because that's our busiest time. But you know what? I'm doing what I love, so I'm not going to complain.
I'm totally relate.
We make it work. It's hard, it's difficult because my partner works at home now. He will be traveling again once this is all cleared, but so there are times where we don't see each other very much, but we've been together for 26 years, so we're okay.
Again, mazel tov.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, as a dancer, I can totally relate to that. When I'm there, it's like, I don't mind being at competition all day. No, in the dressing room, I can sleep anywhere. I found that out about myself.
Right? It's true.
I just I make myself comfy in like people's jackets and sweaters, and then make a little nest, and then I conk out for a few hours, and wake up. You're going on in 2 hours. Okay, thanks.
Yeah. No, I love your dance videos. I love. I wish I studied dance when I was younger, but I never thought I'd end up in musical theater. But I wish I was a better dancer than I am. But I don't care. I still love dancing.
Yeah, you don't have to be.
You don't care what I look like.
You don't have to. That's exactly it. That's like, my cousin is getting married in a couple weeks, and she told me that one of my little cousins is she broke her foot, and so she won't be dancing. And I said, no, you know what? You don't need legs to dance. You don't even need limbs to dance. I'm sure she'll still be dancing. I'll put her on. I'll make sure she's dancing.
Yeah. It's like, I love to walk. I do it unless the weather's really, really bad. I like to walk to and from theater. Yeah.
I put my AirPods in and then no.
Yeah. I do my warming up, and sometimes I forget, and I'll be warming up as I'm walking. And people look at me like, because I'll be or whatever, and people just think I'm normal, because we see a lot of that here.
Yeah, I'd be like, if I was seeing that from far away, and if I didn't see like your earbuds or anything, I'd be like, do I have to call a crisis line?
I know, it's true. Like now you're like, okay, is this person yelling at me, or are they? Oh no, they're yelling at somebody. And
yeah,
okay.
I know.
It's hard now. Yeah,
I always think about. Yeah, I mean, I have Tourette's, so I mean, I get the looks all the time, but I like to use it to my advantage.
Oh yeah, good.
Like, so like if they're coming on and there's like a seat next to me, right? They see it, they're looking. I see them looking, and I go, and then they're like, oh, never mind. I'm like, thanks.
I see. So you're turning it on.
Yeah, so I can't control it, but I can amplify it. It's not what the system can. It's not what you can do for the system. It's what the system can do for you.
Can do for you. Yeah.
Exactly.
So how did you get into dance then? Is it just something that you wanted to do, or did were you forced to do it to help? Forced to take piano?
So my dancing, it was just like my mom put my sister in it too, and so like when it was my turn, like she put me in it. I've always liked dance. Like even when I couldn't walk, I was still trying to dance with my arms and things like that. And I did. And when I started dancing, like I loved it. And with school performances, actually, I was pretty young, probably like 6, 7, or 8, and one of my French teacher told my parents, she was like, you should really put her in dance, like she has this like special talent. And like I kind of did. I really wanted to take it really, really seriously, and I wanted to like do it competitively and professionally. I got to do it competitively a little bit, but my mom really didn't want me going into dance in that environment, because I was already a kid with anxiety and like with already like mental health issues, and like the dance world can be really, really, really awful.
Yeah, it's frightening. It's frightening.
Yeah, I mean, I found my way. I competed when I was 14. My mom let me compete for a year, but it was really shit. So she was like, yeah, you're not doing that again.
Yeah.
And then I took a year to train professionally, like to focus a lot on technique. I did ballet, character, contemporary, like all in one. It was great. I love ballet, I really do, but I could not do professionally.
Yeah.
I could not.
Yeah, we live right around the corner from the ballet school, and I love walking by there and seeing, you can see the 4 stories of windows and everybody at the bar, and just the dancers walking around the neighborhood. You can tell them, the way they walk, and I'm like, they're just such athletes. Yeah. Dancers are such athletes, and people don't think about that. How it's pretty amazing what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the best.
But you are.
Thank you.
What you all can do.
Yeah, I can flip over my head, which is pretty cool. I could do a cartwheel without hands.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool. Except it's not cool when you second guess yourself and you launch yourself into the ground.
Yeah, no, that wouldn't be good.
I was like here, and this is like right when I was starting to warm up. I told my neighbor, I was like just warming up on the lawn, and I was like, hey, watch this, because he was like over there. I was like, want to see something cool? He was like, sure. He's like, oh, my granddaughter did gymnastics, like yada yada. I was like, okay, watch this. I was going to do a front handspring, and I forgot to do a front handspring.
You forgot.
Did the hurdle and launched myself straight into the ground and injured my shoulder. But I've had that injury a few times.
Oh boy. Don't volunteer anymore. Don't show off for your neighbors.
I have to. Look, I'm a Leo, so I like always want attention. So I'm like,
oh yeah,
watch this. Never mind.
When's your birthday?
August 21st. Huh. When's your birthday?
October 6th. I'm a Libra.
Okay.
My partner's a Leo.
Fran Drescher's a Libra.
She's a Libra? Yeah. God. I know, I can't wait. Everybody said, people have been saying that this, from what they've seen of the workshops of the Nanny musical, that it's going to be quite good. So
I just want to be friends with Fran Drescher. It's so funny because like I've seen things where like or like where people like have said that she's like actually like a genuine human being and that she's really down to earth and nice, and for some reason that makes me even more nervous. Like I don't know why. Like I would like if someone was like, oh, she's a bitch, I'd be like, okay, I'd be fine. I was like, because she's nice, like for some reason that makes me so much more nervous.
That makes no sense.
I know. And the last question, because it is Pride Month, as a proud gay man, what does pride mean to you?
It means everything. Wearing my wedding ring means everything. I understand, there are people who've always questioned, well, why do we need a Pride Month? How come there's, that usual question, there's no straight month, there's no heterosexual parade? Because you don't need it, and you haven't had your rights taken away from you.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, but I'd like to get to a point where I would like to say that we wouldn't need it anymore. We wouldn't need a Pride Month because it would be so accepted. Like we don't, like the area we live in used to be predominantly gay, but it's not anymore. And that's a good thing because it means that gay people are comfortable living elsewhere and they don't need to necessarily be amongst each other to feel safe. I feel much more taken care of in Canada than in the US. I'm a dual citizen, so I spent a lot of my growing up, my youth in the United States, and struggled a great deal with being, a gay kid in the 70s and 80s. But Canada has done it right for a lot longer, and so I'm proud to be a dual citizen. I consider myself Canadian now. I'll never live in the US again. I mean, doing come away, you kind of earned your citizenship. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I know. I've been here now. I've lived here longer than I've lived anywhere. So wow. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's my home. I like seeing Pride because I love seeing the celebration. I think you guys and like everyone in that community deserves it so much. I try and celebrate it every day too. I know I have so many people who are so close to me, and who I'm like, if anyone even says anything remotely negative about who you are, I'm coming after them. Good. Yeah. I hear. You could handstand on their head. Exactly. Yeah. On their head. I have legs. I can kick you into next week. High kick you into next week. That was funny. Yeah. Exactly. So now look, Harper's moved. She moved into here now. She's now. Oh, I won't bug you. I just want to show you off. She's moved to this sofa now. Hi, Harper. You're so beautiful. She's so tired. She's so tired. We were out for a long time with the ball. Yeah. She's a ball obsessed. I don't know if you've seen my canine best friend. His name's Percy. He's a retriever. We met at Humber and he was my best friend. I would miss class just to spend an hour with him, and I was like, I don't care if I failed the class, like this is fine. And he was also on the show. He's the third episode. He was on the show. I went to High Park to go and do a special episode with him. So special. I know. I asked him advice about what he thinks students should do to better their mental health, and he gave some great answers. He really did. Good. Yeah, I bet he did. I also gave him popcorn at the end. That's really fun to watch. You know the way to a dog's heart. I do. I'm the dog whisperer. I really am. I believe it. Yeah. Any dog. I'm just like, okay, we're best friends now. Yeah. No, I'm the same way. Yeah, so those are all the questions. Thank you so much for coming on the show. This is such an honor for me. Oh, thank you for asking. Yeah, I really you're a joy to to hang out with and listen to and follow. So I appreciate it. I'm a fan.
Thank you. I'm a fan of yours. I told you that already.
Good. And you like chocolate labs, so come on.
Of course, we're destined to be best friends.
That's all. Yeah, that's all I need.